Greetings and welcome to you. I am Shushana, and today, as you already know, is going to be another topic that I like to talk about because nobody else is talking about it, okay? So today we're going to be discussing caffeine addiction, okay? Caffeine addiction. So this video is not for people who have zero issues with caffeine. This is a video for people who have health issues because of caffeine addiction and who are serious in cutting down on caffeine or quitting caffeine altogether. Okay? Okay. So, let's begin. People who have an addictive personality. 1. People who are recovering alcoholics, recovering drug addicts. 2, 3. 4. People who have diabetes, who simply like the flavor of the sweet milk in coffee, especially with the sugar and the creamer added. 4. Those are the main ones. Let's do 5. There's the people who have underlining health issues. Excuse me. I need to get my glasses. Okay. So these wonderful glasses help with the light on the laptop. So light from laptops or any kind of screen causes damage to the eyes that supposedly we never get back. So screen time. So these wonderful glasses help with the filtering the damaging light on the screen. It just comes with a little glare, but every now and then I'll take them off. Anyways, the 5 groups. The 5 groups that we're talking about. I'm going to just put them all together in one, and we're going to talk about the positives of caffeine. Since ages ago, since ancient times, for centuries, coffee has been celebrated and honored and given as a gift and even treated as sacred for some tribes. It comes in different colors, different smells and aromas and flavors, and is believed to be an anti-agent when used in the right way, because there's always a right way, there's always a wrong way. The right way usually consists of some kind of moderation with healthy substances. However, there are some people that are sensitive, caffeine sensitive. Even when you buy an energy drink at the store or you buy anything with caffeine, there will usually always or should be a label that says this drink is not for people who are sensitive to caffeine, or this drink is not good for people who are pregnant or nursing. So that group is acknowledged and is a real thing, but for some reason nobody really talks about. It's one of those issues that nobody really talks about. And it kind of bothers me that in modern society there's this promoting of caffeine, promoting of alcohol, promoting of disposable nicotine vapes, promoting of all the things that are toxic to the well-being of humanity. For those of you who are hypersensitive to caffeine, There's a group of you that is hypersensitive to caffeine because you are an empathic person. You have psychic abilities. You are a medium. Everyone is capable of psychic abilities, but some simply choose to not do energy work. Some choose to not believe in energy work. But for the most part, the ones that are empathic, the ones that honor their psychic abilities, you are empathic for a reason. You are hypersensitive to caffeine for a reason. There's a reason why it's something that you need to avoid, cut down, do only on a rare occasion, or cut completely from your routine. Then there's another group of you, and this group is having health issues that are underlining health issues that you are combating and covering up with the bandage with caffeine. Energy drinks, espressos, coffee, Starbucks, what have you. And you take them and you take them and you take them and you take them because your energy levels are low. And you don't ask yourself, why are my energy levels low? What is going on with my organs that my energy level is so low? Am I being attacked energetically? It's tremendous because the opposing force will try to shapeshift into nearly anything to try to create havoc in your life, even in caffeine addiction. So let's talk about panic attacks. When someone who has a caffeine addiction has that caffeine addiction, and a lot of times they have it because they quit a certain drug or they quit alcohol, and they are subconsciously consolidating that with caffeine, with putting so much sugar. Like, have you ever seen those people, not to judge, have you ever seen those people pour like 10 packets of sugar into their coffee? All of that has consequences. So sometimes it's simply a lack of motivation or boredom. You know, it's the same thing with any other drug or substance. Why do people just do it for no reason? Sometimes it's boredom. Sometimes it's a lack of motivation from traditions and cultures being ripped from society and everyone being forced into this AI QR code system. So with the panic attacks, a lot of times there will be sometimes a tolerance. Sometimes it will happen because there's a tolerance, so the person continues to drink caffeine. You're not feeling anything. Why are you not feeling anything? There's two reasons why you might not be feeling anything. The first reason is because of tolerance. The second reason, again, is because underlining health issues. It's taking so much for your liver to process the sugar that you put in the coffee after so many years of drinking alcohol, and sometimes it causes a delay in the caffeine effect. So you don't always feel the caffeine shortly after you drink it. Sometimes you won't feel the effects of the caffeine until 5 hours later. Sorry for the camera shaking. Until 5 hours later. So you didn't know that 5 hours ago, and you had 3 espressos or you had 3 energy drinks on an empty stomach. And because of the underlining health issues, you weren't feeling the first one or the second one or the third one. And then you get home and you're done working. You didn't feel any energy while you're at work. And as soon as you get home, it hits you so hard. And you go into a panic attack. There are people that have died from caffeine that nobody ever talks about. Panera Bread had this caffeinated lemonade, and multiple people had bought the lemonade thinking that it was regular lemonade, and other people knew that it was caffeinated, but they didn't know that it was concentrated by 3 times the normal caffeinated amount, and they died. There's multiple people that died from that caffeinated lemonade from Panera Bread. You can look it up yourself. So you can die from caffeine overdose. Your body goes into a shock. Your organs can no longer process what you're forcing it to process. Caffeine addictions also most commonly leads to digestive issues. You will have digestive issues because you're not taking care of the underlying health issues. So your body kind of just starts to break down, and your digestive system doesn't want to digest what it needs to properly digest. So it will just mountain and mountain and mountain until you take care of the issue. So what is going on when you have a panic attack from drinking too much caffeine? From a neurological standpoint, it is your amygdala. Your amygdala stores all of your emotional traumas, your childhood pain, your childhood memories, all the painful things that you wish you didn't remember. Even if you try to numb yourself out, your body has emotional memory of those events imprinted in you, and it has to be stored somewhere, and it is stored in the amygdala. However, you have your PFC, which is your prefrontal cortex. And your PFC should always be higher than the amygdala in order to function properly in life, which is such a difficult task sometimes. The PFC levels always have to be higher than the amygdala no matter what. When you are drinking too much caffeine and you go into a panic attack and your heart is racing and you feel like you need downers to counteract the fact that you took too much caffeine, that is how you know that your amygdala is higher. When your amygdala is higher, you have 4 seconds to prevent an amygdala hijack by entities that want you to do other things. They want to basically take over and be in the driver's seat somewhere, somehow. So whenever you go into this little panic attack, it's important for you to focus on your breathing, seeing if you can have dairy. Dairy will counteract caffeine. Black activated charcoal will counteract an anxiety attack. Trying to eat to help. Your body will feel better if you eat when you're having one of these episodes. It's very important to make sure that your cortisol levels are working normally. Sometimes the reason why caffeine is so bad is because it will reverse your cortisol levels. If your cortisol levels are reversed, you will have insomnia. And in order to rebalance the cortisol levels when they're reversed, you would need adaptogens, supplements, anything calming cortisol levels. There are cortisol level frequencies on YouTube as well for panic attacks, but it's important for you to deal with the stem issue. What is the stem issue? What is the root issue? Why does this keep occurring? Because a lot of times what we're talking about today, for people who truly have caffeine addictions or are hypersensitive to caffeine but can't stop caffeine, you will have these episodes on loop, and you will know you're one of those people when you have to counteract it. Valerian root is a lifesaver. Lifesaver, I tell you. Valerian root, whether you're a caffeine addict or not, valerian root is a lifesaver when too much caffeine was ingested and you need to calm down and take a nap and sleep it off. So, for those of you who are healthy, if you are healthy and you know that your organs are healthy and there's nothing wrong with your organs, but you are suspicious because you have really low energy and you feel like there's something wrong energetically, my home description has doctor's information that will help you with energetic plasma transfusion services. Those services will give you the energy of a horse, and you'll be able to go along your day living energized and happy how we're supposed to be. The reason why I say if you're healthy is because you shouldn't do that. You should not get an energetic plasma transfusion if you have underlining issues. The underlining issues have to go first. So let's talk about the underlining issues. If you are, how do you know? How do you know if you have underlining issues within your caffeine addiction? When you are trying your best to lose weight, and no matter how many times you go to the gym, and no matter how many times you starve yourself, you're not losing any weight. And that stubborn fat and that muffin top is not going away. That is how you know that you have underlining issues and you're not ready for an energetic plasma transfusion. And you know that you have to look into your family history. The family history is like a genetic curse. It really is, because you will have to suffer health issues that have nothing to do with you and have everything to do with your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents. So those are the things that you're going to be susceptible. What did your grandma die from? What did your grandpa die from? For those of you who they passed on already. What were those main issues? What are the main issues that run in the family? If you are having issues with your thyroid, if the thyroid runs in the family, thyroid issues, pancreas issues, liver issues. What is the other one? Heart issues, blood sugar level issues. just those issues alone will not allow you to lose weight. The reason why you're not losing weight is because there's issues with those organs. You need to take top shelf supplements. Top shelf supplements. The more expensive, the better, for whatever individual organ that you're dealing with. Again, that was the pancreas, thyroid, the liver, the heart and blood sugar levels. Those are the main ones. Those are the main ones that will cause your body to completely ignore and not acknowledge the fact that you're going to the gym. Ignore the fact that you've starved yourself for 3 days and you still have a hanging belly. All of that means that you need to take care of those precious organs and modify your routine so that those organs are not breaking down to the point where they are not acknowledging calorie intake or exercise. When you drink a lot of caffeine, you're disrupting the natural circadian system that is given to you about 4 times a day. So what times? I would say 7 in the morning, noon, 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. I think it is. Morning, noon, 4 p.m., 7 p.m. is when natural circadians are given to you, that are natural energy. It's like natural energy. It's like natural caffeine. When those are disrupted, that's when you start feeling backwards, where you have insomnia and you have a lot of energy after midnight. Okay? What else? So whenever you're having a panic attack, it's because your cortisol, your L-cortisol has spiked, and you need to take stress hormones. You need to take stress hormones. You need to take calming supplements like valerian root that are going to calm your stress hormones. I just really believe that valerian root is the best in calming panic attacks without side effects. I mean, of course, it's going to make you tired, so you don't want to take too much because then you're not going to want to go to work. I would not recommend taking valerian root on the day that you have to work. You want to take it on a day where you are free to nap and free to calm whatever episodes you have. So another thing I wanted to talk about is dancing. So trauma is also stored in your hips, and it's so important to, when you do your energy routine, when you do your breathing, when you do your stretching and your exercising and whatever it is that you do, don't forget about the hips. For some reason, people forget about the hips. The hips, it's so important for you to on a weekly basis, put on some dance music, like the fastest dance music that you can bear, and move your hips to that. And trauma is released out the hips when you do that. That's part of the reason why dancing is so important in Hawaiian culture, because it's a movement of the hips releasing pain and the hips releasing trauma to nature And nature transmutes that trauma and gives it back in this positive energy that is aloha and sharing life to another. So I think that is all that I want to talk about when it comes to caffeine addiction. Again, this is not to force you in any way to quit caffeine. It's just to let you know from a neurological standpoint what is happening when you're having a panic attack from having too much caffeine. If you love caffeine and you love the flavor whenever you're able to have the proper amount, then continue having it, but just portion it out. What I found is that a lot of the coffee shops have really high concentrated coffee. So sometimes it's important to make your own coffee so that you can control how much caffeine you're actually taking. And if you were to make something strong, portion it out into 2 different sittings and see if that works. So let's say you love coffee, you love the flavor, you love the little buzz that it gives you, and you just have a hard time with controlling yourself and having too much, then portion it out. So let's say you make the regular cup of coffee and instead of drinking all of it, only drink half of it. Try that out. The other half you can put into a glass bottle and make iced coffee and just put it in your refrigerator, and there you have made 2 portions out of 1 cup. And see if you can just portion it out and decrease the amount that you're having. If that does not work, if portioning it out does not work, and you are still getting yourself into panic attack mode, and there's just nothing that you can do, you just keep getting yourself into this loop, then maybe you should really reconsider quitting completely. You will be surprised. You will be surprised by how good you feel when you go a day or 2 or 3 without caffeine. Even on a working day where you normally would have caffeine, you will be surprised how you feel. Sometimes a lot of people who are sensitive to caffeine will have their 3 cups of coffee, they'll go to work, and then on their way home they will cry. They will just cry. And they will be so emotional. And they will just feel like they're doing something wrong even though they're not. Or they will feel guilt or shame, or they will feel an amplification of their problems. Whatever problems they try to avoid will just come crumbling down on their way home, and they will just feel that everything feels more painful for no particular reason. So that is also a sign that you are sensitive to caffeine and that you should either cut down or quit completely. Because when you are doing that, it means that you are sensitive to energy, and you are basically putting your emotional body on steroids. So anything that you're sensitive to emotionally will feel harsher. If somebody talks to you in a certain tone, you might flinch and feel like you're getting attacked, and you're going to want to retaliate and defend yourself. And that person's tone may not be threatful at all. You just perceive it that way because you're having an episode and trying to understand the difference. In order to understand the difference, it's important for you to go a couple days without it, if you haven't tried it already, and really see how at the end of the day, on your way home, on the days that you don't have caffeine, you feel better. There's this, you feel, you're still going to feel tired, but it's like you feel lighter and calmer. If you want to feel lighter and calmer, try going about your day with a lot less to possibly no caffeine. Cocoa, real genuine hot chocolate is not a substitute. Unfortunately, it has a lot of caffeine, and I myself have got a panic attack from having too much cocoa. All right, that's about all I wanted to say today. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. Till next time, bye.